So I've always been a very accommodating person just because I've always hated conflict. I've never really been one to want to get to a solution where my needs are met. And if that happens, like great, but if it's like an area of conflict where I'm with somebody who's more assertive in what they want and who's like it's my way or no way at all, I'm not going to sit there and act the same way because I know that's just going to cause the whole situation to be dragged on way longer than it needs to be or to be a bigger issue than it already is. So what I choose to do is I like sit back and I say, okay, like if they're happy, then I'm gonna be happy with it as well. And ultimately, I am happy with it just because, like I mentioned, I don't like conflict. So being in it stresses me out and it makes the whole like environment that you're in feel so negative and weary. So just to get it resolved is ultimately the end goal. So being accommodating has always come easy to me. And I know that that's not the case for all people. There are people who, like I said, have more assertive ways that they deal with conflict. And I actually have experienced this with an old friend of mine. She was really upset over, I can't even remember what it was. It was something so like small. And it was me and this other girl who she was kind of arguing with. And when we were in the argument, I was really again being accommodating and I was saying like, oh, if you feel this way, like I'm sorry, like what can I do to make you not feel that way? And my friend next to me was like, you should not feel that way, like kind of just in her face saying like we didn't intend it that way, so the fact that you feel that way like is your problem, not our problem, like da 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 da. And like it was just really like shocking to me to see the different ways that we dealt with it, because in the moment I'm thinking like, like you're just making it worse, like there's no reason for it to have to get like this. And ultimately we're not friends with the girl we were arguing with anymore just because the whole situation, like we bumped heads too much. And it just ended up being better for us to call the friendship quits. um but seeing that really like opened my eyes to the fact that there are like people handle conflict differently. And further with this model that we looked at in class, so I think that now that I have like this knowledge, it will help me sorry, it will help me approach situations differently. Because to me, like, I always just think be the bigger person, accommodate, like, so I always think, why don't other people think the same way? Like, why are you reacting like this? Like, why are you being so difficult? Because to me that's difficult. If you're not accommodating, it's difficult. But it just opened my eyes to the fact that not everybody has experienced life the same and not everybody has the same end goal. And some people really do want their needs to be met and for them to end up happy. And the only reason that they can do that is if they solve the conflict the way that they want or no way at all. And so I really think that like this opened my eyes and it's gonna help me be successful in future conflicts because I think I can approach it differently and not kind of question people's, I guess, methods, because everybody does have a different way that they like to approach things. And with this model now I'm able to know that, because before, like I said, I didn't understand it. And now that I do, maybe I could like step up and instead of being accommodating, try to work with the other person and be like, well, yeah, like let's do this or let's do that. Because sometimes like accommodation isn't the only answer, just like all the other conflict styles aren't always the answer. I think you have to be a little bit versatile with how you approach conflict, especially if you're doing it interculturally, because everybody has different upbringings and they have a different way that they view the world, and that is going to impact the way that they solve problems. In It's not just like a personal experience thing, it's also like a cultural thing. But yeah, thank you.